Hey kids, it's Stink aka BYEPETERPAN here, and I'm back with a new video. Just want to let you guys know that I did not really vlog for the Before You Exit LA private meetup. I did vlog a little bit, but then our phones got confiscated, so I didn't finish vlogging. But that doesn't really matter to me because it just made the meetup more intimate and personal, for my opinion, and it was great. But I do want to talk about a very touchy subject and what happened to me at this event. So I will be talking about what happened to me at the event and other things serious about this topic. So if you guys want to stick around and watch, you guys can. You're more than welcome to. So yeah. So at the Before You Exit event, I had a panic anxiety attack. So yeah, if you guys saw my tweet before, I said that I felt embarrassed, and then later on I explained what happened. So you guys can read it yourself, or because I kind of just want to go over anxiety, the topic of anxiety, just period. I will talk about my personal experiences and my personal anxiety as well. But I did have an anxiety attack at the event, and I dealt with it, and I got through it. And I think what mattered to me most was, what the boys were gonna think, and they were very understanding and all of that. And so yeah, so anyways, let's just talk about anxiety, because I did notice when Riley, I'm pretty sure everybody saw Riley's tweet about social anxiety, which also made me want to do this video, because when I had an anxiety attack on Saturday at the event, and then Riley tweeted the next day about his own struggle with anxiety. So I thought I'd do this video to help whoever's dealing with it, because after reading Riley's tweets, I saw a few people say, that they're struggling with it too. So I thought I'd share my experience and kind of hope to make a difference and let you guys know that you're not the only one, and that there are people out there who deal with it, and there are people in the fandom, in this family, who deal with it. So starting off, I'm just going to read you guys the definition of anxiety. So anxiety is a feeling of a worry, nervousness, or uneasy, typically about an event or something with uncertain outcome. Another definition is a desire to do something, typically occupied unease, a nervous disorder characterized by the state of excessive uneasiness and apprehensive, typically with a behavior or panic attacks. There are different types of anxiety. I'm gonna go over 5 right now, just kind of get into detail, and maybe you don't even know what kind of anxiety you have. But I'm going to just touch on 5 major ones. Out of the 5, I actually have 3. So yeah. Number 1 is general anxiety disorder, which is a chronic anxiety, exaggerated worry, and attention, even when there is little or nothing to provoke. So this is just a general anxiety, which I have. Basically, you tend to worry about every single thing, and you're constantly thinking about everything. And usually you start to think and worry and have bad thoughts about everything. And for me personally, I tend to worry about everything, and sometimes it gets so bad that I put kind of situations in my head, even made up situations, but I'm overthinking so much about these situations, and thinking about them so deeply that like I think that they're real, but they're really not. There's even people who cannot sleep, have insomnia, probably to an anxiety that co-ahead with each other, to where they start to worry about things late at night. So, and it can be as little, it can be anything, like it said, anything little or nothing at all that we tend to like get really anxious about or tend to like worry about. And from my personal experience, like it kind of sucked because I would have old friends or, you know, old relationships where people would tell me like, you're over exaggerating, you're being dramatic, your feelings don't matter. And it was very hard, especially during high school, people telling you these things. It just made things worse, because I began to like bottle those things in, and you shouldn't. If you feel a certain way, you should tell someone or you should express it, because I believe that your opinions and what you think is wrong to you or anything like that matters. Don't let anyone tell you that your feelings don't matter. I had someone tell me a long time ago that my feelings don't matter, and I broke so bad over that. I would start to hide my feelings, and it got to this point, it got really bad to where I didn't express my feelings like at all because I didn't have a voice to. So I'm just saying, just don't let anybody do that to you. You express your feelings, you express your opinions, and don't let anybody tell you you're wrong, because you're not. Number 2 is obsessive compulsive disorder, which is OCD. This is an anxiety disorder that is characterized in reoccurring unwanted thoughts, obsessions, and repetitive behaviors, such as washing, counting, checking, cleaning things often, having performed so-called rituals. So OCD, everybody should know what that is. So some people have it so bad that they do things repetitively. They check things all the time. I watched this show that used to play on MTV. I don't think they play it anymore. And it was like, you know, I have OCD. And it was people who had it so bad that they would lock their doors a couple times. They would wash their hands a certain amount of times. And, you know, things had to be a certain way. And if it wasn't that way, they would get anxious. They would, you know, worry. They, you know, overthink things as well. And this is one I do not have and I do not struggle with. But some of these people have it so bad that it is a thing in their daily life that they struggle with, that they have to have these things a certain way and do things a certain amount of times just to know that it's right to them and they're safe, or, you know, they're comfortable and that it's the way they want it. So I don't have that one, so I can't really relate to it. But if you have it, I'm pretty sure you can find someone who can relate to you, and, you know, you can get help that way. The next one, number 3, is panic disorder, which I have. It is an anxiety disorder. Is characterized by unexpected and repeated episodes of intense fear, by physical symptoms that may include chest pain, shortness of breath, dizziness, and abdominal distress. So like I said, I had like a panic anxiety attack. So basically you get so anxious or get so worried that you start to have this attack. And basically for me, what happens when I have an anxiety attack or panic attack, I start to hyperventilate, I start to cry, I start to like cringe and shake and sweat, and sometimes it would get so bad that it hasn't happened in a while, but it would get so bad that I would hurt myself. I would physically like hurt myself and kick and scream. uncontrollably and cry uncontrollably and hypervent uncontrollably. Every person is different, but and everybody deals with their anxiety or panic attack differently. So for me, I'm just gonna go over what happens for me. Generally, when I have a panic attack, I just told you what usually happens when I have one. So usually what I need to get out of it or to calm down and get through it, generally I just want one person, maybe two, one person generally, if not two people, to hold me and hold me tight, because I need that, like, embrace, and I need someone to tell me, like, it's gonna be okay, you're alright, this and that, kind of reassure me that everything's gonna be okay, and I'm gonna be okay, and just and then I need that same person to help me breathe, coach my breathing, because I start to hyperventilate to where I'm choking, and then sometimes I have a gastritis attack. So I need someone to just coach me through and be like, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, to where I start calming. That's what gets me to calm down, is someone coaching me and telling me to breathe in and out. And then from there, I'm okay. Sometimes I do tend to spit up or throw up because of my gastritis, because I'm so upset that my chest is hurting and my stomach is hurting, which is this disorder. I have gastritis. I do have a video where I talk about the gastritis, so if you guys want to know about gastritis, or if you have gastritis and you want to do that, I will link it down below. But my gastritis disorder and my anxiety does go ahead together, so usually sometimes when I have a panic attack, I have a gastritis attack. So yeah, sometimes I tend to spit up, sometimes I don't. And then from there, I just, drink water, and I just need to relax. Sometimes I do want that same person to keep holding me. Sometimes I will sleep it off. Sometimes I just want to be left alone. So on Saturday, after it happened, and after I met the boys, I went outside the hallway, and there was all these people out there, and I was just feeling overwhelmed, and I just, went toward the end of the hallway and just sat by myself, like stood there by myself, because I just didn't want to, like, be hovered by people. So sometimes I do just want to be left alone. Like I said, I'll sleep. Sometimes I'll put headphones on, watch a movie, or just, I generally go to sleep. So that's how I deal with it. Everyone is different. So I know people who have, anxiety, and then when they're having an attack, they need someone to be there and coach them to get through it, but they don't like to be physically touched. They don't want someone holding them or physically touching them whatsoever. Like, my sister's like that. I have a friend who's like that as well. They just don't want to be touched at all. I'm different. I want someone to hold me. So it just depends on the person and depends on how you get through it. Generally, I try to tell people, if they know I have anxiety, I tell them, this is how I get through it. This is what I need from you. My boyfriend knows what I need, because the first time I had one in front of him, he did really good the first time. So I generally just told him, this is what I need. This is what I need you to do, and he does it, and I'm lucky enough to have someone and have friends and people who help me through it. Before Saturday, I did have one on my first day of a job I didn't end up keeping, and I called my sister who has anxiety as well. So it just depends on how you get through it. So that's just generally how I do it. So yeah. Number 4 is post-traumatic stress disorder, which is PTSD. And this is developed after an exposure to a terrifying event, such as it may trigger violent personal assaults, human or natural disaster causes, accidents, and military combat. This is one I do not have. This one I feel is really bad. So basically, if you have ever been physically abused, sexually abused in a car accident, in a natural disaster, or experienced some sort of trauma in your life, you tend to replay these things, replay that event over and over, or events. It may happen more than once in your head, over and over and over and over again, whether you dream about it, where you just think about it on a daily basis. So if you were probably physically or sexually assaulted, you tend to lose trust in people. You probably don't like people touching you. You probably don't even, like, if you start to go in any sort of relationship, whether it's with a friend, a new friend, or even a relationship, you kind of have that struggle to trust that person, because you don't want to get hurt again. You don't want that same thing to happen again. Just like if you were in a car accident, you probably now have anxiety or fear about going in a car, or if you see one on the street, or even just hearing a car go by, you kind of freak out. Even it could be different sounds, it can be anything, and I feel like that is something really hard to deal with on a daily basis. I don't know how those people get through it, but I'm sure you can find someone or see and go through therapy for that. I have been sexually assaulted in high school, but it never was really traumatic to me, if that makes sense, to where it is traumatizing to where I have anxiety about it. Maybe when I was in high school, but I kind of just put it in the past and move on, where there's people who deal with it on a daily basis, or it happened to them multiple times. So that is another one. I'm sorry I can't relate to that one. And then the last one, number 5, is social anxiety disorder. And that is overwhelming anxiety, excessive self-consciousness in everyday social situations, such as fear of speaking in formal, informal situations, eating or drinking in front of others. Also, just, what does it say? Almost anytime they are around other people. So this one I do have as well. I feel like I've had this one probably since I was a kid. I've always been a shy kid. Even today, I'm still a shy person. And it kind of sucks because people kind of like picture you and talk about you like, oh, you just have attitude, or you're mean, or and that's not it. We're just very shy, and we deal with this social anxiety. So growing up, when I was a kid, I was super shy. I didn't like to be around people. I didn't know how to make friends. I generally, to this day, don't talk to anybody unless they talk to me. I never liked even just saying here in class when the teacher would, call our names for attendance. I didn't even like saying here. I always, raised my hand, and the teacher would be like, no, you need to say here. There is even times in school where I would have to present a project or reading class, and I would choke up so badly that I would have to leave the classroom and throw up and basically cry. Even to this day, I don't really like attending social events. I get very anxious about them. I overthink everything. I overthink about what I'm wearing, about what they're going to think about me, what I'm going to say, how am I going to talk to anybody. I'm not going to know anybody. Nobody's going to talk to me. I'm going to be alone in the room alone. Like, it's just like, and sometimes when I go to social events too, whoever I'm going with, I generally like stick to them like glue. like I'm their their shadow, because I just don't like talking to other people, and I struggle with talking to people, and I literally stick to them like glue, and I don't want them to leave me for a second. And when they do leave me for a second, I'm just like, what do I do? Oh God, people are staring at me. Oh God, someone's coming up to talk to me. And I still struggle with this today. I joke about it. For me, now that I've dealt with it for so long, I joke about it, and I tell people, I'm like, I hate everyone. I don't like people. And what it really is that I just struggle with people and events. So, yeah, and it also says, speaking with people, going to events. It even says eating and drinking in front of others. And you can ask anyone. Ask my boyfriend. I don't like eating in front of people. Drinking, I think I'm okay with, as long as I have, I think a straw, so I don't, spill or something. But generally, eating in front of people, I cannot. Usually when I go to social events, I try to eat beforehand, so I don't have to eat there in front of everybody. I don't like eating in front of anyone, because I'm afraid that they're going to judge how much I'm eating, or if I spill it on myself, or what I eat, or I don't know, and I get very self-conscious about how I eat, and if I make a mess, and they're going to judge me, and I just don't even like people staring at me eat. I think I'm better about it now than I was when I was younger. It was mostly generally around people I didn't know, new people, or boys. I never like eating in front of boys. I don't know why. Maybe because I like boys, and I don't know. I hate eating in front of boys and new people and groups of people. It's just, there was even times where I would go to social events or anywhere, or even on a date, and I wouldn't eat at all. I would order, but I wouldn't even eat it, or I would nibble at it. And then it just made it worse, because that person's just like, you're not hungry, or why aren't you eating? And you start to sweat. And they're like, well, you don't eat a lot, or they start judging you, and it's it makes it worse. But I have kind of, I think, come a long way with eating in front of people somewhat. Other social things, not so much. Like I said, for me now, it's a little joke. I mean, it's not a big joke, but I'm not making fun of anybody else. It's a joke to myself, or I tell people oh my God, I hate everyone. I hate people. Which really, I don't hate people. I just don't like being around people, and I don't like meeting new people, and I don't like social big events. I don't even like I like my birthday, but I don't even like being the center of attention of anything, because I feel embarrassed, I feel self-conscious, I just really don't like to be the center of attention for anything. I just feel really awkward and shy and self-conscious and all of that, so I don't even like that. So yeah, those are 5 types of anxiety disorders. Like I said, I have social anxiety, I have panic, and just a general anxiety. And yeah, I just, what happened on Saturday, and what Riley tweeted, and just seeing that everyone else, I struggle sometimes. I off and on, like I said, on Saturday, I felt really embarrassed about running out of the room and having a panic attack and coming back in. And the only things after, because even after my panic attack, I kind of overthink things, and I feel bad. I feel really bad after I have a panic attack. I don't know why. I just feel everything's my fault. So after on Saturday, when I had my panic attack, I was really worried about what Before You Exit was gonna say, and I was really worried about what everyone else in the room was gonna say. And that's why, like, I kind of, like, isolated myself, and I didn't really tell people what happened. And I'm kind of glad nobody came up to me and asked me what happened, because I really just didn't want to talk about it, because I felt so embarrassed and so ashamed and so worried about what Before You Exit was. I mean, I was a little bit worried about what Before You Exit was saying, but I was mostly worried about what everybody else was going to say about me. So seeing Riley's tweet and seeing other people say that they can really, really helps, because you aren't alone and you're not the only one dealing with these sort of things. And I think one of the first steps to, with anxiety is accepting that you have anxiety. And as hard it is to seem, but you have to be positive. You have to think that you're not alone, that there's other people out there that care about you, or people who could relate. And you just kind of had to find your way to get through it. I know you can go to therapy. Some people take medication. I don't believe in medication. Maybe in the future I'll go to therapy, but right now I think of how I deal with it now kind of is okay for me. I managed to get through it, and I haven't had a really bad one probably in a year or more. So yeah, I just wanted to do this video to let you guys know that you're not alone, and there are different types of anxiety disorder. And if this video helped you, I hope it helps you figure out what kind of disorder you have, and you can learn from yourself and how you can get through it, and you're not alone. And I have it, and it's nice to know that someone in Before You Exit has it, and he deals with it and he gets through it. And I am available to talk if you guys need to. You guys can message me on Twitter or Instagram, and we can talk. Like, don't be afraid to talk to other people or share your emotions. Like I said, don't let anyone tell you that you're wrong, or you're dramatic, or you're over exaggerating any of that. Don't let anyone put you that down, because I've been there before, and it's hard to come back out from that. But I was able to do it, and if you need help doing it, like, I'm here for you. I know there's other girls in the fandom who deal with it too, and I know they're there for anybody. Just DM one of us, and I'm sure anybody part of this family will be willing to help you. So you guys can definitely DM me and talk to me about anxiety, about your problems, or anything. But I hope you guys like this video and can relate to it, and I hope I made some sort of difference. So yeah, so if you guys want more videos about serious topics about like this, just give this video a big thumbs up. Make sure you guys subscribe for more. I do post fun videos. Just thought I would share my experience because of what happened. So I'll catch up with you kids later. I'm sorry this video is like a bajillion minutes long, but thank you if you got through the whole thing. So I'll catch up with you kids later. So bye.